If ICE approaches anyone that we know or just, in general, what should we do? They're asking for ID. They're asking to know whether or not you were born and raised here, where you're coming from. Is that information that we should voluntarily give if asked? Do we need to ask for warrants? What do we
So
do
if they
in those
come to your
situations?
house knocking, you definitely have to ask for a warrant.
Okay.
And you definitely have to see the signatures
Right.
on that warrant. Right. And they can only come and get the person who is on that warrant.
Right.
Right. If it's out on the street, I mean, all they need is reasonable suspicion to believe that you're not from here. I don't know how they determine that, but you and I know how, just based on the way how you look.
Right.
They can ask for ID and they can make a determination that you are illegal. So what I say to people is no matter what your status is, right, try to provide an ID and try to have a pending immigration case. Because if you have a pending immigration case, something filed, you are able to either show that tangibly or on your phone and say, this is what I have.
You're in the right place. It's Unpacked That with Miabelle. What's going on, y'all? From the radio to the podcast, I'm Miabelle. You're watching another episode of Unpacked That. And today we're doing it a little different because the knowledge that needs to be heard and said on this show is really important. I have award-winning immigration lawyer Sekou Clarke with me today. And not only that, but you're also listed on Forbes as one of the top entrepreneurs of 2025. Congratulations, black man, because we're here to celebrate you.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, there's so much that I do want to be informed on personally. I am Haitian American, and, in New York, in New Jersey and Connecticut, the whole East Coast filled with the Caribbean because of proximity, of course.
Of course.
But before we go there, we have to know how you came to be in this position that you're in, because it means so much to us to, see a familiar face, somebody who can relate, especially to the issues that you are, assisting. So take us back to young Sékou from Jamaica.
From Jamaica.
Yeah.
From Kingston, Jamaica, right?
Okay, hold on, Badman.
From Kingston, Jamaica. Washington Gardens, that's the streets. Came from a sports family, a track family. Both from my mom's side and from my dad's side. My dad is a renowned track and field coach in Jamaica. Luckily, by the time I got to high school, I was somewhat good, then got better. Then I started to get recruited. And more heavily, especially after competing at the Penn Relays, right? Like in Jamaica, that's the Super Bowl for high school kids, is to go to the Penn Relays because you get a visa, you get to travel, right? So got some offers from some colleges, SEC schools, and I chose University of Florida.
Okay.
Right, so got a full scholarship to University of Florida, went to Gainesville when I was 18, stayed there, graduated, did well, and then really wanted to pursue that dream of running professionally and doing all that, and started on that journey. Then I ran into some immigration issues, right? So that's when...
For yourself?
For myself. So, and a lot of people find themselves in that issue transitioning from a student visa, right? So went out of status, was undocumented, dealt with that whole chapter of my life, which was, it's scary, it's life-changing, and you get to lean on all of your tools, from your family to your mental health, everything, right? And thank God I had a good immigration attorney that was able to find a solution for me and get me back documented, get me back working and legal and traveling. And I was able to continue running for Jamaica. And then once I retired from that, that's when I said, all right, the representation is something that was really close to me.
Right.
And that's when I did my MBA, and then I went to law school after. So that's like the concise version.
Okay. Now, I want you to pause in a space where you were dealing with those immigration issues, the feelings that came along with that. I think, especially as Americans, sometimes it's null and void to us, where we're not really thinking about what someone from another country is going through when those fears start to impose on them, where it's like, I may have to go back and I may have to reconfigure my entire life or whatever the situation is. So for you in particular, what were those feelings?
And it's a feeling that, like, especially now I'm able to really empathize with my clients, right? Because I always say it's this dark cloud that follows you, right? And the one experience that will never leave my mind is I used to be a personal trainer, like in the off season for track, right? And I'll never forget the moment when the manager came and tapped me and he's like, "Look, man, your work permit is expired, so we can't have you here." So me leaving the gym with my tail between my legs, driver's license expired, right?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
It's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
You're driving and in your mind you're like, anything can happen at this moment. But for me at that point in time, I'm looking at myself like, why am I doing this, right? I have a degree, right? As All-American national champ. So I'm like, why am I in this position, right? Where I'm struggling, I'm afraid to drive. Anytime I saw cops, like palpitations, nonstop. And it's just a feeling of hopelessness, this fear. And then there's also some shame to it, right? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of shame because if you've already integrated it into the US, right? Your friends are American. A lot of them just see you as American, even though you might have an accent, but they just see you as a quote unquote normal person. Whereas inside, that's something that you tend to keep inside.
Especially if you have Black friends.
Exactly.
Because in America, we are all Black people.
Yeah. And, you fall into a lot of the stereotypes and it can really, really mess with you, especially the shame part. And Jamaicans are prideful people. We have a thing where we don't like people knowing our business, and no matter what's going on, you're going to get up and look clean, even if you're broke.
It doesn't matter.
Right? Yep. It doesn't matter. So that's one thing that is one period of my life that I'll never forget, the shame, the constant fear, and just feeling hopeless. And because it's things that's out in that space, you feel like you don't have control over anything, your finances, anything at all.
Yeah.
And people are faced with two decisions, I've realized, right? They're intentional to go and fix it, or they put their head in the sand and just ignore it and create this bubble. Yeah.
So we're proud of you for stepping out of that and stepping up to the plate too, because you've dedicated your life to help people who were once in your situation. Now, take me to your first client when, after you graduated, you got all the credentials. You got the visa, green card, citizen, everything you needed.
Yeah. So, all right. So my first real client. So when I started practicing, right, I did not want to do immigration.
Okay.
I was like, it was too cliche. I wanted to make my own
path. Too cliche?
It was too cliche.
Because you've been through it?
No, exactly. Been through it. Black guy, Jamaican, finished law school. Of course he's going to be an immigration attorney. And I was like, no, I want to show them that I can do something else. So I started out in personal injury, did that. And then I got an opportunity at a big firm. They said, hey, come and do personal injury here, but we want you in the undertone, the token, to open our immigration department. So I was like, all right, fine. But then when I started, day one, right? So mind you, before that, I was doing personal injury.
Right.
On the side, I would do like some green cards for family friends. Like that was the extent of my experience.
Okay.
Day one in this new job, they drop a big file on my desk. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, you have court tomorrow. Prepare yourself on the file. You're the only immigration person here. You have a paralegal. Figure it out.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Mind you, immigration court and doing green card paperwork, it's two different ballgames, right? So the file that I get, so you have complexity in terms of immigration cases. You have a 1 and you have a 10. This case was an 11. This guy was already detained. He's already facing deportation. He had his green card taken away, and he has felony charges. And me, who has never set foot inside of an immigration court, had to figure this out. And that case is what really taught me everything about immigration, because it had every possible detail in it. Person got their green card, picked up a felony, has a U.S. citizen wife and children, violated probation, is detained.
Oh my God.
The laws are changing. So it just shifted from Obama at the time to Trump round one.
Oh my God.
So
this is crazy.
So a lot of things were changing, and just really having to figure it out is really what made me fall in love with immigration, of putting all the pieces together.
Were you able to get him out of the situation?
Unfortunately, I was close, but a lot of immigration cases, especially when the person is detained for felony charges.
Right. That's where you scared me.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where, for me, my practice right now, if I had gotten that case, it is one where I would have advised the family that, look, there's no matter what I do, there's a 90% chance that this person is going to get removed.
Right.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about that case is I was able to find, and I can't really discuss the details, but I was able to find some case law to keep him here for a while. And the judge was going to release him. And what they had to do was they had to bring the chief counsel from Miami to come and defend the case against me, because
that's serious right there.
Because they're used to immigration, because immigration attorneys, I've realized, not all of them, but most of them in court, they're not super aggressive. They won't get up and shout and like, that's me in court. So when I got through around 3 or 4 attorneys and the judge was going to release him, they're like, all right, this guy's serious. Let's bring their big dog from Miami. And they brought him in. And, there's some things you just cannot defend in court. And the family was like, that was worth every penny. A lot of these things we didn't know. So we're pleased.
Of course.
Yeah.
And now you have the ability to really advise these families on what they should do. And I love that you're honest about that too, because, a lot of people are trying to make their money, especially in this economy where they will take whatever, no matter what the outcome is.
Yeah.
So fast forward to where you are now with all of your firms. I know you have some all over the states.
Yeah.
And outside of the country too, right?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to, building this conglomerate of businesses, how are you spreading your time and able to be on top of all of them, really?
Yeah. So for one, it's the athlete in me, right? 2, I love business, right? I did my MBA before I went to law school. So for me, it's always a goal to how can I create more access for people, and how can I deliver a better product and service?
Okay.
And I eventually just boiled it down to 3 things to manage everything. It's systems, process, and people, right? So one thing that I built my firm on, especially now over the last 2 years, is anybody that I bring in, they have to have gone through the immigration process.
Okay.
So the entire firm, we're probably like 25, you had to have gone through the immigration process, one, and you have to be an elite level employee based on your stats coming in. So that's how I manage everything, is having really good people, but also people who are similar to my clients. They understand what they're going through. Because they have gone through it themselves, just like I have. Because I realize that it's a different kind of representation when, yes, you know the law, but you know exactly what is on the line.
Yeah, and you have a reason to fight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just having really good people, a really good system, and a really good process is how we manage 5 offices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the laws are changing again.
Rapidly.
Yeah.
Rapidly.
And we're seeing so many immigrants deal with so much, especially now that the administration has changed. And, I don't even know where to begin with what are just some steady ways that, they can keep themselves safe right now. What should they be looking for as far as paperwork to make sure that they have, so that in the case something happens? I know ICE is literally
everywhere.
I'm getting texts like, girl, Target in Queens, we don't shop at Target anymore, DEI, but just everywhere. So how do we avoid that? How do we approach it if it comes to us? What do we do? What do the immigrants do?
So the first thing is knowing your status.
Okay.
Right? And especially in New York, right? Every place that I have my office, it's a different community of immigrants, and each community have similar issues.
Okay.
Right? So what I've realized with New York, which is different from Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Panama City, is that New Yorkers, they feel so safe.
Yeah.
right?
Because there's so many of us.
Exactly. And it's also a sanctuary city. So a lot of clients that I've encountered, they have been out of status for like 15, 20 years.
Okay.
And they're good with it. But then now, since it's like there's mortal danger, right? Now they're faced to really find real issues or to make a step.
Right.
Or to try to be more intentional in getting their status resolved. So I would say the first step is knowing your status, right? A lot of people don't even know that they had a removal order 10 years ago.
Wow.
Right? And people don't know that if you have a removal order that was entered against you, whether you were there or not, if you have an encounter with ICE, an immigration attorney cannot save you because you're going straight to either Miami, where you're going to be on the next plane.
Okay. Oh,
if you have a removal order. So you have to know your status. If you don't have a removal order, well, you're out of status, right?
Okay.
But there are two different levels of being out of status, right? It's all based on how you enter the country. Your options, if you enter the country legally, like on a visa and you overstayed, versus you crossing the border or entering on somebody else's passport.
Okay.
Your options are different from the person who entered legally.
Yes.
So it's really about knowing your exact status and what options you have available. Unfortunately, if you entered illegally, right, most of the options that you have will require you to leave the country and re-enter. Most, not all. So you still have options.
What about seeking asylum?
So seeking asylum, that's an option. But again, immigration is all about eligibility. So asylum, you have to file within 1 year of being in the country.
Didn't know that.
That's the thing, right? And then you have to have some type of abuse or you face some type of persecution based on a protected class. So you have to be in a protected class, such as based on your race, religion, national origin, political opinion. Because I do have people who do asylum consultations, right? But it's based on you getting robbed in your home country.
Right.
Right? And
that's not enough.
Typically, that's not enough unless you can prove you are being robbed because you belong to a certain group and you're facing that repeated violence.
Right.
So it's that education and eligibility. So again, status and then now knowing what you're eligible for.
Right.
Right. And knowing the different types of being out of status. So whether you enter legally or illegally.
So when ICE is displacing children, detaining them, putting them in, I'm hearing that even some people are ending up in other countries that they did not come from. How are they able to do that? And what are ways that, we can help?
So in terms of displacing children, right? If you have a child that was born in the U.S., right, but their parent is illegal and does not have a status, right? The U.S. will not say, okay, we're going to keep you here as the adult parent. We're not going to keep you here because you're a U.S. citizen. Child is here legally. No, they're going to be like, hey, we're going to ship you out because you don't have the status or you violated your status. We're going to ship you out. And guess what? You have to bring the child if you don't have a valid or eligible caretaker as well. The flip side of that is if you have a child that entered illegally, is here out of status with somebody else that's out of status, they're going to go for that child, And what I've seen in some situations is if they can't get to the parent, they get to the child first because there's a registry for the public schools.
Right.
And if that parent has been hiding, they can't find the address. They say, okay, well, you know what? We can file it. We can find the child. We'll go and get the child. And once we get that child, we know that illegal parent is going to come and get them. And then we get everybody.
Wow.
So in terms of what we can do to help, there really isn't much that we can do to help other than advocate immigration education, right? Because there are so many people here who, they have options, right? So, for instance, I've had a couple of cases where you have green card holders who have criminal infractions and they are now in removal proceedings to be deported, right? So whether your opinion is like, well, these people should go or not, a lot of times these green card holders, their parents became U.S. citizens before they turned 18.
Oh, wow.
So by operation of law, I'm able to prove that, hey, they are a U.S. citizen, so you cannot deport them. And I've been able to get a couple people out of removal proceedings by finding those crucial facts out. And these are things that they don't know.
Right.
Right. And there are just other options. So say, for instance, I've had people who they were married to U.S. citizens and they were abused or their spouse left them and then they've just been here. But then I'm like, well, hey, you haven't legally gotten divorced, so we can do a self-petition VAWA that can put you and your child on a track to get a green card.
Okay.
But they didn't know those facts, right? Or people who, say, for instance, there is someone that was the victim of a robbery and they had assisted police to say, hey, this person was a defendant, they robbed us, and they're assisting with that investigation. That is also a route to a U visa that you can get that U visa whether you're in status or out of status. So it's really knowing these facts to extract from the client to determine their eligibility. So in terms of how we can help is just really advocate for people to be educated.
Information, yeah. It's our best teacher. It's definitely something that needs to be known now. This brings me to all of the Haitian immigrants that came in through Biden. I don't know. First of all, I have a personal experience with this too. My sister, my eldest sister, she brought in some of her siblings from Haiti through the Biden situation.
Yeah.
And it was very fast.
It was very
fast. They are all here.
Yeah.
And they were in the process of getting their paperwork right. They're working. They're learning the country. And this is all happening in Texas. And now they're terrified of being sent back. Yeah. And I believe my sister is filing for asylum for them. Yeah. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying all this, if that can harm them or not. But
no.
Yeah, I don't think it should be. But it makes me wonder about all of the others who came in. And
over 500,000 people.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the biggest immigration miscarriages in history, right? So picture this, right? Somebody invites you to a party and say, hey, come, we're going to turn up. It's an amazing party. Come out and you buy all your gear and, you're ready to go party.
Right.
You come into the house and they're like, oh, yeah, you got to pay for the food and you got to pay for the drinks. And then you're like, You invited me. I spent this money, right? I bought
so much money.
Yeah, I got my nails done. I got my fit, got my hair, and came. And then no, you're telling me I got to pay for the food. And then they're like, yeah, you got to pay for the food. And then guess what? And then you say, hey, I don't want to pay for the food.
Right.
And then they're like, well, you know what? You got to leave.
Right.
And you have to find your own transport to leave. So that is what's happening. So these people came into the country legally, right? You have the Haitians, the Venezuelans, the people from Nicaragua and Cuba. They were invited here. They came in legally. Their families spent the money.
I didn't know it was all of them too.
Yeah. brought them here. And whether the American people believe that Biden did it correctly.
Right.
It's still under the U.S. government. It's still the Department of Homeland Security. They brought them here and gave them work permits.
Yeah.
So now they have integrated, they're working. And let me tell you, because I have business owners who have businesses that employ these people. And they said these, like, especially the Venezuelans, are like the most amazing and dedicated artisans. So now they're integrated. They're working legally, right, for U.S. companies.
Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's small businesses, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And then no, you tell the administration changes within 2 years, and then no, you're saying, hey, you got to go back. And these are places that were designated places that have either political or some type of warfare going on that is unstable.
Right.
Right? And then no, you're saying, hey, it's over. You have to go back. Without any type of plan or any type of framework in place that you brought them in. I know you just yank it, say, hey, this is going to be done in 60 days. And as of yesterday, the Supreme Court sided with the Trump administration to remove the TPS for Venezuelans.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that is going to be effective in August. And what that means, what's coming down the tube is once the Venezuelans are unplugged, that means the Haitians and the Cubans are next in line. And I think it's a huge miscarriage I mean, I think at a minimum, they should have given them more time.
Right.
Or provided some type of framework for them to stay here legally if they haven't done any type of crime and if they have been productive citizens.
Right.
Yeah.
So essentially, all of them will eventually have to go back.
Yeah. Either go back or no, they're going to have to pivot to find another relief, another immigration relief to stay. So a lot of them are turning to asylum. They're turning to family-based petitions. But even within that, there are still options that, people don't know of, right? So if you came in under that program, your employer can actually petition for you. So that's a way that people can help.
Right.
Is if you have a valued employee that is, again, adding value to your business, go ahead and petition for them.
Right.
And we've been doing that for a lot of US-based companies right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing the work. It's necessary.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Now, where do you want to see the immigration laws go for this country? What would you like to see? What is your dream for, people who are entering this space and wanting to find better for themselves? Is it better? Sometimes I think about it and I'm just like, I don't know. If I was anywhere else, I might want to stay because of the state America is in and where it could be going. But what are your personal thoughts on that?
So my personal thoughts is America is the greatest place in the world to start a business and to be an entrepreneur and to have an opportunity. Right. In that box. Right. That is what I think where America is the greatest place on earth. Right. And whatever you put in, there's a high chance that you're going to get it back or 10x. All right. With that said, I do 100% believe that there should be closed borders, right? You can't have this open barn gate to just letting all kinds of people in. No, there has to be a system and a process. Right. So that's the easiest fix, right? And there has to be some type of bipartisan approach to that. However, the people that are here already, there has to be some type of framework that if you've been here for over 2-3 years, right? You don't have any type of violent crimes or arrests. You are productive. Create a framework to give these people work permits first. Right. And a way for them to either pay something if they entered illegally, right? Because, that is finable, right? And then create steps, actionable steps for them to get legal permanent residency. Yeah. Right, because the resources that they're going to take to gather all these people that are illegal, right? And to put a pin there, there's this big misconception that immigration is the illegal immigrants that cross the border. No, most illegal immigrants in the U.S., and this is factual, right, enter the country legally on a visa that was granted to them. Yep. But they overstayed, right? So these people create the framework for them to get a work permit, right? Because guess what? If they get to work, if illegal immigrants here get to work, right, it helps Americans twofold. Because one, it helps American businesses. Two, American employers can use these immigrants to undercut Americans. Because if people are working under the table, they're going to pay them less. They don't pay taxes, right? And they're potentially in unsafe work environments. But then it doesn't reduce the labor market or the wage market for actual Americans. So it's going to help America two sides. Right. Right? So get these people legal work permits so that they can get the wages that they deserve and it doesn't affect the labor market. And then create a framework for them to become legal permanent residents. Say, hey, you have to do this at this stage, this at this stage. So then no, they level the playing field. Yeah. And some may say it's going to be a state issue, but immigration is a federal, so it needs to be uniform across all states. And that is my dream for the people who are here to get that issue fixed. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Sékou. What are you most proud of for yourself? Because you did complete the mission as far as coming here and turning, everything that you wanted, your dreams into reality, really. And you're doing it on a major, major platform. The world is recognizing you for it. Yeah. So, what are those feelings like?
What are you most proud of?
It's humbling. It's humbling because I always say I have two amazing parents, and Jamaica created everything in me. So to be able to make my parents proud and to create access for Jamaicans, like the Jamaica diaspora, Caribbean people, but immigrants all over.
Right.
That is what I'm most proud of. But I'd say the single thing is to be a representation of what people can achieve.
Absolutely.
No matter where you started, no matter what the resources that you have or you didn't have, like once you have that mindset, and I say it's an immigrant mindset that you can literally hustle, be intentional and plan about it and have whatever freedom you want and whatever you define your freedom to be.
Okay. So 2 questions. If ICE approaches anyone that we know or just, in general, what should we do? They're asking for ID. They're asking to know whether or not you were born, raised here, where you're coming from. Is that information that we should voluntarily give if asked? Do we need to ask for warrants? What do we
So
do
if they
in those
come to your
situations?
house knocking, you definitely have to ask for a warrant.
Okay.
And you definitely have to see the signatures
Right.
on that warrant. Right? And they can only come and get the person who is on that warrant.
Right.
Right? If it's out on the street, I mean, all they need is reasonable suspicion to believe that you're not from here. I don't know how they determine that, but you and I know how, just based on the way how you look.
Right.
They can ask for ID and they can make a determination that you are illegal. So what I say to people is no matter what your status is, right, try to provide an ID and try to have a pending immigration case. Because if you have a pending immigration case, something filed, you are able to either show that tangibly or on your phone and say, this is what I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they cannot take you in.
It's still up to their discretion to take you in. But say you didn't commit any type of criminal infraction.
Right.
Then the chances of you not being taken in is significantly higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. And of course, for more resources, consulting, anything in reference to immigration, where can people find you or any of your firms?
All right, so you can find me at clarkelawgroup.com, and it's Clarke with an E.
Okay.
You can find me on social media at Attorney Sékou or at S. Clarke Law Group.
Okay.
And we have consultations all the time, especially in Brooklyn. So we are celebrating the opening of our new Brooklyn office.
Yay!
On next week, Friday.
Okay.
And we're doing free consultations. So you can call the office, right? It's 407-295-2138. Or you can go to our website or social media, clarkelawgroup.com, and get a slot reserved because it's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Right here on Unpacked That. Thank you so much, Sékou.
Thanks.
We hope to see you soon. And of course, please keep them cases going. We need you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Of course.